What's going on, everybody? Okay, so this video, I hope you're doing all right. Welcome back to the channel. I want to discuss something here because I've noticed over time, Ripple, XRP keep getting these partnerships and nothing happens to price. Like you get the Bank of America and they're like, yeah, we love XRP. We've got it. The kind of weird thing on AWS, on the Amazon website about Ripple and all of that. And we're like, okay, but where's the price movement? We get SBI Remit in Japan actually using XRP. Santander in the UK actually using XRP. And then we're looking at the price going, why? Why is nothing happening? And I've just got some insights. I think a more logical view of things. And maybe some keener insights because I kind of have learned how these things work over time, like how the partnerships actually work and the development of using XRP works, that I thought I might share in today's video. So if you do go on to like today's video, please make sure that you're hitting subscribe and sharing this video with anyone else that might want to learn about XRP, or you might want to force XRP down their throat or something. Share it with them, like and subscribe. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We're going to get there real soon. I want to get there before the end of the year. You think it's possible? I don't know. You can make it happen though. Thank you very much in advance. So, also before we get into it, Fruition Productions, the creator of the documentary about XRP that I am in, they are launching on the 21st of November this month. They're launching it, so it's $15 to buy the pre-sale ticket to watch the documentary when it comes out. You can go to fruitionproductions.com to buy that early. It's $15. There's nothing. I've also bought a t-shirt, so you buy a t-shirt too. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I'm going to be looking all over Twitter for how people are reacting to watching it. It's going to be so exciting to see it come out. Anyway, so let's get back into it. Why do these Ripple partnerships never do anything with price? Let's talk about SBI Remit, because I think this is one of the big ones. We've heard massive news out of Japan, where Japan seems to be like the most pro XRP country in the entire world, and we're like, okay, come on, where's the price movement? What, like, come on. And I think again, this is like an expectation thing. The expectation is that when these partnerships are announced, that they're just going to start using XRP like widespread, and that's actually not the case. So when you really dig down into it, this is why it's really important to get into documentation. For me, like I'm the content creator, let me dig into the information. For the most part, like this channel is me doing the stuff for you so that you don't have to do it. The last thing I want for a viewer of this channel is for you to feel like you have to go out and devote 10 hours of your day to learning about all this stuff. I think that's not constructive to what's really important for you. What's really important for you is that you get real information and that you have a real plan of action of like what to do with the information. I don't want you to be binging YouTube trying to fill this void in the knowledge that you think you have, that you've been told you have by the game of YouTube. I don't want that for you. But if you are so interested, you can go and see this information as well. I'm just trying to do my best here. So SBI Remit is in Japan. Well, it might not even be SBI Remit. There's so many different SBI companies. But the point is, they handle money. It's like a banking investment group in Asia. Now, when they accepted the use of XRP, they obviously tested it beforehand. So there's different stages of this. There's testing, which they've obviously clearly gone through. Then there's use. And this use phase, we're going to call this preliminary testing. Maybe testing is not the right. There's stage 2. And stage 2 is not full-blown use of XRP. That might be like stage 5. Okay, so I've just made this up on the spot into like 5 steps, but these are the 5 steps of adoption. And I haven't even thought of what 3 and 4 are, so I'm going to do this on the fly. Stage 1 of XRP adoption via partnerships is the testing phase. So Ripple have a conversation with this company, SBI Remit. They say, look, XRP can do all these cool things for your country and for your system. Do you want to give it a go? And they go, okay, we'll give it a go. The nature of that test is very limited. They're testing to see how secure it is, whether it can handle low, like microtransactions, batch transactions, large transactions. They're testing it under the full scope of the payments that they would typically make, but they're doing it in a very low scale. So, for example, they might test a $10 send, just like one or two, maybe like 10 $10 sends, not very large volume, considering Bank of England does like $1 trillion a day, right? So we're talking very small amounts. They don't want to risk anything when they're doing this. This is probably likely to be internal transfers from staff members or developers doing test transactions, literally like maybe even offline. In many, when I say offline, I mean not affecting the customer journey or customer experience of their technology. So they're testing it in this phase. Then they come out with a report in between, and that report is like the result of that testing. If they're very positive about the testing, then they'll move forward to the next stage. And the next stage is now use of XRP in real life transactions. But how they do this is at a very minimal scale. So instead of saying the scale is or the quantity of crypto that they're sending is very small, instead of saying that, they reduce the payment channels. And so what do I mean by payment channels? A payment channel is, one payee and the recipient. That's a payment channel. Now that could be one person to one person, or it could be one bank to one bank, or a country to a country. But when you look at banks, they do business all around the world. So they're doing from their bank to many different countries. That's like full scale operation. They're doing so many different countries, probably every country in the world, right? But at this stage, all they're doing is testing a very small region, a very small payment channel. So with SBI Remit, we're getting back there in the end. It's taken ages. For SBI Remit, for example, they have opened up XRP to be used specifically between Japan and the Philippines. Not only is it just Japan and the Philippines, it's also specific transactions that go between Japan and the Philippines. So you might have, they've narrowed it down even further. They filtered it down even further. So let's say the transfers from Japan to the Philippines is like $1 billion a year. Let's say, I don't know, I'm just making that up. It's $1 billion a year. They might look at that and go, this is our smallest payment channel, but it's still a bit too much to like fully just use XRP for right now. We need to have this go more over time. So let's narrow it down even further. And let's say only transactions between $10,000 and $20,000 that will allow to go through that payment channel using XRP. So they narrow it down even further. And then that dollar value that they're going to transfer through that payment channel now, with those filters in place, now meets their requirement for comfortability. So now they might say, okay, we're comfortable with $500,000 a year going from Japan to the Philippines using XRP. And next year, we're going to test to see the results of that, the failure rate, the speed, the cost savings, and all of that stuff. And then if we are positive about that move and that change, then we'll move on to stage 3. And as you can imagine, stage 3 is just kind of loosening the reins on those payment channels. So now instead of it being $10,000 to $20,000 that we're allowing only between the Philippines and Japan, now we're allowing anything up to $100,000. So they open the floodgates a little bit more at this stage, right? So they open the floodgates. Again, they give that another year probably. And like, I don't know the testing times for these things, but just think about it in years. I think that's good for expectations as well. So we've got testing, we've got initial, like the most restricted filtering system on what's allowed for XRP. We're opening that up a little bit to allow a bit more freedom. Stage number 4 is just an increased version of that, even more. So now they're not saying, okay, maybe not just between the Philippines and Japan now. Maybe let's go from Japan and all of Asia, and we'll just leave it at all the countries in Asia. Or maybe they have a list of Asian countries. And then step number 5, this is that full-blown moment where they say, okay, we're using XRP for all of our transfers in all payment channels at all volumes of transactions, right? So these are the 5 stages of XRP adoption in partnerships. I made that up. That wasn't bad, was it? I'm going to clap myself there. So if you enjoyed that, click like and comment below if you have any bones to pick with me on that one. Or if you've got something nice to say, I'd prefer that. So how does this relate to the lack of price movement for XRP? Well, it in my mind, it makes complete sense that without anything meaningful happening on the use case for XRP, in terms of, I think SBI Remit is here. I think they're on stage number 2. Stage number 2 being the most limited use of XRP, almost as like a testing phase, but an official. It's public and live, but it's not a testing phase. That's where I think we are with SBI Remit. And I think for every other partner in the world, I think at maximum we're maybe like 2.5 out of 5 in terms of adoption for all the companies across the world. That's where we are. So if you acknowledge that we're about, I would say at best 2 out of 5 in terms of adoption, does it now surprise you that we haven't seen much price action? Especially knowing how the nature of stage 2, which is that they're not really doing that many transactions anyway. Yes, they're using XRP, but they're not using it at scale. I believe it's when you get to stage 4 and 5 where you start seeing something meaningful happen. And it's not because of the use of XRP that meaningful price movement happens. It's because at this stage of adoption, the stage 4 and stage 5, companies are now switching on that this technology is changing inevitably, and we have to be part of it. And in order to be part of it, yes, we're going to buy some to use it because it's really useful at this stage, but we're also going to hold some. That is the mentality you need across the board, across the globe, at stage 4 and 5 of the adoption scale, where these companies and financial institutions and banks are not just holding holding XRP to use it because it's good. They're also holding it because they see it as an investment tool, acknowledging the wave of adoption that's coming. They're kind of want to be part of that wave as well. That's when you see meaningful price movement. When you've got SBI Remit buying like $10 billion of XRP, right? Or financial institutions buying the absolute limit of what they're allowed to buy of a group 1 or group 2 digital asset, if there are such limits in place. So this is where you get real meaningful price movement, in my opinion, when those things come into, when you get to stage 4 and stage 5 of this whole process. So if you enjoy this kind of view of things and like how I'm thinking about things, I share my thoughts on email, on my newsletter 3 times a week. So if you're interested in getting bombarded with emails from me, I talk about these types of things. I talk about the videos that I discuss on YouTube in maybe a little bit extra detail. I give some extra thoughts and like brainwaves that I'm having. And I also share some student testimonials, client testimonials of people having massive success in my program. I'll share those in there as well. So if you're okay with that, I would suggest joining the newsletter. The link is in the description. Remember, go to fruitionproductions.com. It's £15 to buy this documentary. Support them. They were fantastic at building this thing. I'm in it as well. Highlight your favorite parts of the documentary when it comes out on the 21st. Stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.